Hi folks, how are you? Welcome to the channel. I'm sure you're having a wonderful time professionally and personally. I wish you all the very best in the years to come ahead. A very, very important topic to be spoken about today, just a few minutes of your time. Urge you to watch till the end. The topic might sound very, very basic, but it is a very, very important topic. How close should you get your boss? How proximate to get your boss? I think all our work life we are continuously going to with bosses, work with bosses, irrespective of how many employers work with. Some people have very, very stable jobs, work for maybe even decades in the same company, but then again you need to work with a boss. You need to work with a leader whom you're going to reporting to. Likewise, even if you are can I use the word, a floating person who's doing a job change once in 3 to 5 years or even more frequently, even then you're going to work with bosses. So bosses are the most inevitable things in our professional life and careers. There's no doubt about it, and a lot of times it is even jocularly and seriously said that it is a good bosses that make or break our careers. So the question, or the billion-dollar question we need to ask ourselves is, how close or how proximate should we get to our bosses? Should we get very close to the boss? Should we very, very pally-pally with the boss? Should we probably breach our personal boundaries and get extremely close with the boss if there is an advantage to it or disadvantage to it? What would you think? My questions or my answer immediately or very, very affirmatively is that never get too close to your boss, because there are a number of reasons. One reason is there tends to be a bit of exploitation when you get too close to the boss, and there also tends to be a perception by others, by your teammates, by your peers and others in the organization is that you are trying to get favors from your boss, and that is the reason you're trying to get close to him. Many times this getting close to the boss could happen naturally. Maybe you vibe better, maybe you share knowledge better, you are in the same professional wavelength, and to some extent even in the personal wavelength. But even then, the outside world or the extraneous factors do not know this. All of them do think that there is some particular reason or some vested interest that you're getting close to your boss, irrespective of what the fact is. And the best way to avoid it is to probably make sure that you really don't display any closeness with your boss, even if you are very, very close to him, comfortable with him, or even probably I would use the word have the same mental wavelength with him. So try and avoid getting too close. Try extremely being professional. Try maintain the professional decorum, and if at all you are close, maybe you should keep it on a phone call or outside the office when you meet him in the party and things like that. That besides, in a proper workplace environment, in a shop floor or in the annals of your office, make sure that you are extremely professionally connected to the boss. You are only having a professional relationship with the boss, and in turn he also is only professionally looking at you as somebody who contributes to the goals of the organization. Nothing more, nothing less. You are going to be rewarded for the kind of good work you do for the organization, and you are going to be professionally rewarded for what you do for the company, and not because of the whims and fancies of the particular boss. This is very, very important in your career, because in today's corporate world, the word spreads around not to within your own organization, but to about 10 other organizations in the same industry. So if for example, if your reporting boss is Thomas and you are Martin, and Martin is very, very close to Thomas personally, and that's how many people perceive it, the word is going to go around in the professional market or the job market, or at least to your direct competitors or amongst people within that Martin and Thomas are personally also very, very close to each other, and maybe there is no element of neutrality in the kind of dealings between both of them, and that is the reason probably that Martin is doing extremely well in his career. This creates a perception that you probably are hanging around with the boss or trying to be pally-pally with the boss for professional gains and nothing else. You are trying to use your personal relationship for your professional gains, to improve your professional stature, to get better increments and things like that. So this is a huge peril, not just in the organization. Yes, sometimes when the boss is trying to get close to you, you really can't cut him off, but at the same time, if you don't really handle it in a very, very professional way, it is not only going to affect you within the same organization, it is also going to affect you in other organizations. So next time when you want to quit this particular place and move to another place, the first thing that comes to the mind of the person who has heard of this is this guy really professional, or is this guy trying to be a sycophant in any organization and grow because of that. So that takes away a lot of professional credit from you, and you need to be extremely wary of doing something like that. So that is the reason I very, very clearly, even in the beginning of this video, said never ever get too close to your boss. Yeah, there are cases where we could have worked with the bosses earlier. The bosses could have been colleagues earlier. He could be our peer in an earlier organization who has become a leader in this particular organization. It is all the more important for you to be extremely cautious in such a case, because even then, in these cases, the proximity is going to be seen as a more dicey thing than a normal case, because people are going to know that this particular person was your boss in the earlier, or was your peer in the earlier organization. You two were colleagues in the earlier organization, and now he's become your boss, and now you're coming here and joining as a subordinate. So naturally, like it or not, tongues keep wagging about these kind of relationships, and it is our own interest as a long-term career builders or career crafters that we have to make sure that we don't allow that proximity to be perceived very badly, and allow that to take a toll in terms of our long-term professional career growth. So be very, very careful in handling this relationship with bosses. I'm not saying you need to rub them on the wrong side and you need to probably antagonize them. Have an excellent working relationship, but at the same time make sure that you don't create this perception of being very, very close to the person. This is going to be of extremely good state for you in building your career. You will be seen as a hardcore professional, and in fact, if you know the person very well, all the more outside world is going to think that despite knowing the person, knowing the boss, you never used it to your advantage. To the extent you are professionally very, very good, you handle things with neutrality, and you only allow or make yourselves grow by sheer merit and nothing else, sheer performance and nothing else. They build this perception and craft an excellent career ahead for you. I'm sure you have very, very different opinions about it. Please state your comments and opinions as to how you would handle situations where there are opportunities to get very close to the boss. Thank you, and wish you a wonderful career ahead. Keep coming again to this channel for more and more videos. Stay subscribed. Thank you, and kindly like the video if you have really enjoyed this. Have a wonderful week ahead. Have a wonderful life ahead. Thank you.